Welcome to this first episode of Nac Edition for 2012. I'm William Blanchett.
And I'm Chantel Harrison. Nac Edition is a program made by students right here on the campus of SFA. We shoot, edit, and present stories of what's happening on the campus of SFA and around Nacogdoches.
But this week, you're in for a treat. This is our Halloween episode. Our crew will be looking at what were the most popular costumes this year, haunted houses, and bring you many other spooky stories.
So grab your flashlights and light your jack-o'-lanterns. This is the Halloween episode of Nac Edition.
Hello, I'm Garrett Jones.
And I'm Bria Ballard.
The anticipated 15th annual Scare on the Square fundraiser event presented by the Nacogdoches Advisory Board is finally here. Here's Bria Ballard with the story.
Scare on the Square is an annual Halloween carnival that you do not want to miss. Whether you like to be scared, have a sweet tooth, or like to dress up in cool costumes, Scare on the Square is the place for you. The event will take place Saturday, October 27th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. in historic downtown Nacogdoches, and there will be plenty of activities for everyone. Schedule of events include a pet costume contest, trick-or-treating, a haunted house, and much more. Scare on the Square event coordinator Sarah O'Brien shares more details.
This year, our pet costume contest is in its third year, so we're really excited about that. We did change the times a little bit. Pet costume contest registration begins at 4 p.m. and the children's costume contest registration begins at 5. And the children parents can actually park their strollers and come and let their kids roam free. Kroger sponsors our Bounce Park area, which is going to be new this year. We're excited about that. Greg Patterson actually does a children's haunted house that evening from 4 to 7 p.m. Right on Mound Street. And then Pepsi is our official drink sponsor of the event. And we couldn't do it without Keep Nacogdoches Beautiful. They help us tremendously by making sure the downtown looks the same as when we left.
There will be over 75 vendors, including Walmart, Godtel, Little Caesars, and other local businesses. For more information, contact Sarah O'Brien at 936-559-2573. Again, 936-559-2573. Reporting for Nac Edition, I'm Bria Ballard. For 30 years, the haunted house run by the Jaycees has been a Halloween staple in Nacogdoches. Here's Laura Sattler with a story about this year's efforts.
It's that time of year again of ghosts and goblins, and we're here behind University Mall where the Nacogdoches Jaycees and the Sigma Tau Gammas teamed up to create this haunted house. Let's go check it out. The Jaycees are a young men's leadership group who have been running the haunted house for 30 years. This year's proceeds will go to the less fortunate children in the Nacogdoches community who cannot afford Christmas presents. A large crowd is expected.
Well, we're hoping for just on Halloween night to have about 1,500 people, so total with 3 weekends altogether, we'll hopefully have around 2,500 people.
Since the house is built from scratch, the construction has demanded a lot of time and effort from both parties.
We had to we put up all the walls, put up all the barricades to show where people walk, and all the ideas just come straight from fraternity brothers, the Jaycees. We all kind of work together.
The house was officially opened on October 19th. We were there on opening weekend as the public experienced the haunted house for the first time.
I would say for a haunted house in the mall, which I thought was going to be corny, it really wasn't though. It was pretty good.
With all the positive feedback, we decided to walk through the haunted house ourselves.
No, I don't think I'm ready.
Come through my
Oh, shoot.
The haunted house will be open again October 27th through the 31st from 7 to 11 p.m. The cost for admission is $10 per person.
We just barely made it by right there. We're finally at the end.
Reporting for Nac Edition, I'm Laura Sadler.
From Chester the Ghost to the mysterious girl of Kerr Hall, there is nothing scary to ghosts in Maze Hall. Here's Richard Hafley with more.
With 74 rooms and 130 residents, Maze Hall, located on 1507 Horseshoe Drive, seems to be one peaceful living facility. However, don't let your eyes deceive you. Before the building was a dormitory, it was a hospital with a morgue in the basement. At the opposite end of the basement is a deep bomb shelter that was built in the early 1940s. The Mays Hall basement is usually locked, but from time to time it is broken into by those who just cannot resist the urge to explore. The basement, however, reportedly harbors heavy feelings of negativity. The ill feeling is mild toward the old bomb shelter, but those who have wandered the old morgue say the feeling intensifies the closer one comes to a false wall within the basement. No one exactly knows what is behind the mysterious false wall, and no one has identified the presence that seems to be projecting such negativity. Although college students often go exploring in areas that are off limits, none have been reported to be ever so brave as to inspect the false wall, or what might just be hiding behind it. Students, along with staff members, speculate that someone who was housed in the hospital may have died, or perhaps the lost souls and spirits of the bodies that were in the morgue tend to be unhappy, trying to get out, and in doing so, are haunting the building. Reporting for Nac Edition, this is Richard Hafley.
An SFA faculty member has been named one of the YouTube's top 5 natural hair care video bloggers by the Huffington Post, made appearances on shows like Good Morning America and The Insider, and even has been featured in People magazine. I'm sure you're wondering who that might be. Anissa Pinson has more on this story.
YouTube sensation Dr. Nina Ellis Hervey says she lives by the saying, dream big or don't dream at all. Her life, her achievements, and the very public journey she's taken to success are definitely proof that those words are truly taken to heart. Dr. Ellis Hervey has obtained a bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degree, as well as the title of CEO, and she's done it all before the age of 30. She's an active professor in SFA's Department of Psychology and the successful founder and CEO of the Beautiful Brown Baby Doll brand. This naturalista says she's most widely known for her natural hair care tutorials, but it's her 100-pound weight loss that landed her a spot in an issue of People magazine.
It was something that I didn't really see myself doing per se, but the opportunity came and I was very happy that it came. I thought it was a really, really excellent catapulting to the Beautiful Brown Baby Doll brand.
This brand is composed of a successful YouTube channel, a natural hair care line, and more recently, fitness DVDs. Dr. Ellis Hervey says she strives to live a holistic, healthy life. This includes good eating habits, a consistent fitness routine, and a natural hair care regimen.
I don't want to have to just have my hair to identify with. You know, if I can have my health and my strength and all of that, I think that's a lot more important, you know. So I think once we realize that there's a balance in health, you're going to want to take care of every aspect of your body.
This is not the last you'll see a Beautiful Brown Baby Doll. Peace.
Reporting for Nac Edition, I'm Anissa Pinson.
Ghost sightings have been reported at Mildred's Crossing in Nacogdoches. Here's Richard Tater with the story.
The ghosts of old Nacogdoches are coming out at Miller's Crossing this time of year. The little village plays host to historical figures on October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m., bringing history back to life. Director Susie Lower oversees the event.
Why not have the people who lived in the houses come out on the porches on Halloween night and become the ghosts of Miller's Crossing? And in that way we could tell the history of the houses and teach a little local history to the people who come up to Miller's Crossing in a way that was kind of fun.
The ghosts interact with both visitors and each other, helping to bridge the gap of time by showing what life was like for settlers in early Nacogdoches. There will be hay rides, face painting, cupcake walks, games, and hands-on activities, and of course candy for the young ones.
I say people always take all the fun out of history, and it's my aim to put it back.
The museum also offers individual tours and school field trips throughout the year, as well as other holiday events. Being only half a mile north of Stallings on Highway 59, It's close enough to visit anytime. For more information, visit them on the web at millerscrossing.org or call them at 936-564-6631. Reporting for Nac Edition, I'm Randall Teeter.
A group of fraternity brothers have taken on the challenge of ending hunger in the Nacogdoches community by doing what every child loves to do, trick-or-treating. Here's Esteban Numbo with more.
The brothers of Sigma Lambda Beta have come together to go trick-or-treating this Halloween, but instead of asking for candy, they are asking for canned goods.
In Nacogdoches, we have a 32.4% poverty rate.
Trick or Treat for Canned Goods to Eat is a community service event held by the fraternity to help the poverty of the Nacogdoches community. Here's what Christian Pineda, Community Service Chair for Sigma Lambda Beta, has to say.
Well, instead of going house to house asking for candies like kids do, why don't we do something that actually benefit the community? So we came up with the idea of actually making up a flyer and stapling it on a paper bag and delivering them to every house so that on Halloween Day we can drive around and pick up canned goods that the Nacogdoches community donated to us.
The members then got together and drove all through the neighborhoods of Nacogdoches, dropping off their trick-or-treat bags for the residents to receive.
We drop off these paper bags a week in advance of Halloween, and then we pick them up on Halloween.
A couple of the neighborhood residents actually donated cans to the members on the spot. The brothers were extremely grateful to have received donations that quickly. Sigma Lambda Beta is particularly excited about what the turnout of this event will be. Sigma Lambda Beta pledged to give all the donations to the local Gato and Women's Shelter to help make this holiday season a little brighter for those in need. If you would like to make a donation to Trick or Treat for Canned Goods to Eat or learn more about Sigma Lambda Beta, contact Christian Pineda at 832-882-6412. Reporting for Nac Edition, this is Esteban Nambo.
To see any of the student work featured on Nac Edition, you can visit our YouTube channel by searching Jack TV SFA.
You can also follow us on Twitter at @NAC_Edition. We'll be back after the break with more Nac Edition. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Nac Edition. I'm Garrett Jones.
And I'm Bria Ballard.
Halloween is approaching fast, so you know what that means, right? Costumes. Here's Larry Allen to tell us about the hottest Halloween costume this year.
Halloween is approaching, and that means vampires, clowns, Wolverines. Oh my. There are many variations of costumes for kids, so we went to Party and Things to find out what is the hottest costume this year.
The hottest costume this year really is toddlers and tiaras. I think it's easy. You put on a tiara and a formal and then you're good to go. Also, Honey Boo Boo is really popular.
For the college guys, it's Duck Dynasty. But the anticipation for getting high-priced costumes has dropped dramatically. Every year, there's a different trend, but this year students are not setting high standards for an expensive costume. It's getting to the point where customizing has become more popular than buying a costume. With tuition rising, it makes sense for students to find their own way to still enjoy their Halloween, even on a budget.
What we're noticing is a lot of costumes are more accessories because college students just don't have the money to go spend $50 or $60 on a full costume. That seems to be what's popular this year.
Party and Things is a store for all occasions. They offer costumes year-round. They have loads of accessories from wigs, jewelry, stockings, and more. So what's your costume this year? This is Larry Allen reporting for Nac Edition.
Halloween is coming up, so we're going to go to the Oak Grove Cemetery where there are some spooky stories. So let's go to William Blanchett where he'll be telling us more about the historical Texas figures at the Oak Grove Cemetery.
Oak Grove Cemetery on North Lanana Street is one of the oldest Anglo cemeteries in the state. It is the final resting place for at least 3 prominent figures in Texas history and has a very eerie story that makes it unique from other graveyards. Thomas Jefferson Russ came to Texas where he met Sam Houston. He fought in the Texas Revolution, was Supreme Justice of the Supreme Court of Texas, and was Texas' first senator to the U.S. Congress with Sam Houston. There's a building on SFA's campus named after him, and the campus was actually built on Russ' homestead. His death happened on this homestead. When Russ returned back to Nacogdoches, he found out he had cancer. He began to become depressed about his illness and decided to end his own life. William Clark Jr. is also buried here. He fought in the Battle of Nacogdoches. His family plot is marked by an angel monument.
And the angel's outstretched hands has been a target of vandalism and has held everything from a Schlitz beer can to a football.
Bennett Blake is also buried here. He fought in the Texas Revolution, saved many historical documents, and was a delegate to the Convention of Confederate States of America. He is buried on one side of the street and had his first and second wife buried on the other side.
Oak Grove Cemetery is actually a cemetery within a cemetery. There is a part of Oak Grove which is known as the Catholic section. What they decided to do was disinter the bones of the Spaniards and other Catholics that had been buried there, the old Spanish cemetery, put them into wagons and bring them into Oak Grove Cemetery.
The Nacogdoches Courthouse now stands in what once was an old Spanish cemetery. Reporting for Nac Edition, I'm William Blanchett.
Blood on the Tracks is a tall exhibit at Nacogdoches Railroad Depot featuring exhibits on the history of the train, derailments, collision, and train safety. To tell us more about this, here's Sunshine Kemp with the story.
This is Sunshine Kemp reporting for Nac Edition. Crushed bones, smashed fingers, and disintegrated bodies are amongst the many things you will learn at the Blood on the Tracks exhibit at the Nacogdoches Train Depot. The exhibit will run from October 15th to November 17th. The exhibit has a lot of interesting information from train safety to train explosions and collisions.
In 1912, San Antonio had the roundhouse explosion, which took place during a strike because an engineer had held down the safety valve. The boiler exploded, it quote-unquote vaporized the engineer. It also killed somewhere between 26 and 40 people. They don't know how many because they simply could not find the cars.
HE and WT built the first railroad and train depot here in Nacogdoches back in 1883. It allowed the town to expand economically from agriculture to timber. Southern Pacific took over HE and WT later in 1899, which allowed for the addition of the train depot to include grocery, freight, and coal warehouses. Antipastas and Clear Springs are now home to the old grocery warehouse building. For more information on the exhibit or about Nacogdoches Train Depot, contact the SFA Center for Regional Heritage Research at 936-468-3953 or email them at crhr@sfasu.edu. This has been Sunshine reporting for Nac Edition.
Solid Foundation is an after-school program that extends open arms to the youth of Nacogdoches. The organization works as an aid to improve grades, self-esteem, and behavior through mentoring programs. Here's Bradley Hildreth with more on the story.
Solid Foundation started as an after-school program devoted to the improvement of grades, self-esteem, behavior, and other tools that will bring forth success. In 1992, John Cannings became CEO of Solid Foundation and remains the head of the organization today. Solid Foundation is a response to a void seen in the community.
A lot of single-parent households, and therefore Solid Foundation was birthed from the concept of trying to help those students who are dropping out of school.
Nacogdoches ISD also supports Solid Foundation.
The very snack program that we have is supported by NISD. They provide the meals for the kids.
The program not only nourishes the body, but caters to their academic needs. Odyssey is a program designed to pinpoint a student's weak areas and provides coursework of various subjects ranging from elementary to high school curriculum. Not only does Nacogdoches ISD contribute to Solid Foundation, but also local businesses throughout the community come together each year for their annual fundraiser to show their support. Silent auctions, giveaways, and donations are just some other ways that businesses contribute to Solid Foundation. This year, the national recording artist Anthony Evans came out to show his support for Solid Foundation.
It's about acting. It's about doing it. It's about taking that step and investing in somebody's lives. If you've been questioning it and kind of thinking about it, but you know what Solid Foundation is, it's time to get up. It's time to take that step and invest in somebody who needs you.
For more information on Solid Foundation, contact the number and website below. I'm Bradley Hildreth, reporting for Nac Edition.
What to do for Halloween if trick or treating isn't something you're into, or if watching horror movies gives you nausea. Well, not try Scare in the Air. Here's Thad and Alexis with more.
For Halloween, Zip Nac will be hosting their first annual Scare in the Air event, which is just like Scare on the Square, but instead you're on a zipline course.
Hey Thad, this looks interesting. So let's see what owner Susan Rice has to say about the event.
Well, I'm not going to tell you everything we've got because we want you to come see it and we want it to be an element of surprise, but we've got a lot of skull themes. Seems like there's a theme of skulls going throughout, and ghosts and goblins, and we've got some surprise rats and mice and spiders, lots of spiders, and that's all I'm going to tell you about. You have to come see the rest.
Let's zap on over to Zip Nac for the safety requirements you have to acquire before you can go zipping. Let's go.
We're going to pull this up. You'd like for this
After filling out the paperwork and putting on their helmet, gloves, and harness, riders will attend the ground school before they ride on the 5-element course line. The trainers will show riders how to stop, move, and slow themselves down during ground school.
Whenever you're ready, pick your feet up. All right. Cross your ankles. On zip.
Once riders are done with ground school, they graduate to the main course line, which is where all the thrills are during Scare in the Air.
Well, that was fun. We had an adventure at Zip Nac. Don't forget to come out to Scare in the Air October 25th through the 31st. And don't forget, it's at night.
For Thaddeus Price, I'm Alexis Paul, and this has been Nac Edition.
Prices are discounted for Scare in the Air. Call 936-645-5094 for more information. If you would like to join Nac Edition by suggesting stories for us to look into, check out SFA's Mass Communication Department as a whole. Please visit the website listed below.
There you can find pictures of our new studio, faculty and staff bios, contact information, and learn how you might be able to join us here at SFA.
We'll be back after the break, our community discussion roundtable right here on Nac Edition.
Welcome back to Nac Edition. In this segment, we're going to talk about several topics that relate to our everyday lives. I'm Matt Green, and with me are Richard Hafley, Larry Allen, and Esteban Nambo. Now, we're going to be talking a little bit about sports today, and our biggest story of the day, obviously, is the San Francisco Giants winning the 108th World Series, sweeping the Detroit Tigers 4-0, winning at Comerica Park last night in Detroit. Pablo Sandoval gets the series MVP, goes 8 for 16, hitting .500 for the series, hit 3 homers in Game 1, 2 of them off of Justin Verlander, the greatest pitcher in baseball.
Okay. Well, congratulations to the San Francisco Giants.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Coming in sweeping
awesome.
After
took them out.
And the first 2 rounds going 6-0 in elimination games, being on the verge of elimination, just seemingly throughout the entire playoffs, and coming back and being able to sweep the Tigers. Really, the Tigers really had no chance with that pitching.
Well, I mean, that's just the way baseball go, Matt.
That's the way baseball goes.
That's the way baseball goes.
That's what our good man Ron Washington would say.
I think baseball, though, is probably the only sport in which you have a break, you don't want it. I mean, it's bad.
Absolutely.
I mean, pitching was good, but the bats just weren't there at all.
The bats weren't out there for the Tigers. Triple Crown winner Miguel Cabrera was a disappointment.
Didn't show
He did
up.
hit a 2-run homer in Game 4, but wasn't quite enough. He also struck out looking to end the season for the Tigers. So
that's right.
Not the kind of postseason he wanted after his historic run in the regular season.
Yep.
Moving on, we got a little NBA news. The NBA kicks off tomorrow, or tips off, I guess I should say. Mixing sports metaphors.
It happens.
Mavs and the new look Lakers go at it tomorrow night in the Staples Center. And the Celtics and the Heat also go at it just before that in Miami. What are some storylines this season, Larry, that we need to look at?
Lakers, they have their new additions, Dwight Howard and Steve Nash. Of course, Kobe is hurt right now. He's iffy on starting.
Maybe gonna play, maybe not.
Maybe not gonna play.
I don't know about the Lakers, man, because you know when the Miami Heat got like the big three, it took them 1 year to like assimilate completely, and then the next year they won their championship. I don't think they'll win the championship this year. They may do well. I mean, they're gonna do well. They have to. They have that strong team, but I don't think they're gonna go for the win like the whole.
I mean, Lakers have that complete team right now. I mean, who can really stop them?
No,
like,
you make it. Y'all both made good points. It's you made a good point about the Heat, how it took them a while to really mesh, especially with Wade, James, and Bosh. But they all play similar positions, and I think you're seeing a different side of that with the Lakers. You got Steve Nash, who's the ultimate point guard. He's a passing guy. He will shoot, but he's a pass-first point guard, which is what the Heat lacked. You got Kobe, who is the scorer, and then you got Howard, the force in the middle, the guy down low. So I think it's a different dynamic to the Lakers team. Yeah. I think, the different positions will help them out a lot when you don't have, Wade and James essentially playing the same position.
Makes sense.
College football, some rough news over the weekend for Marcus Lattimore.
Yep.
He dislocated his right knee a year removed from tearing his left ACL.
I think he can come back strong. It's just going to take a lot of hard work. Knee injury is hard to come back from.
Yeah, buddy.
Yep.
Like I said, he did tore his left one the other year. So
it was a pretty nasty hit. Reminded a few of Tyrone Prothro from Alabama back in the day. If you want to see something that may or may not make you vomit, just Google Tyrone Prothro injury.
Yeah,
it's really dirty.
Really dirty.
Really dirty.
Indeed.
Shameless.
Some other news from over the weekend: Notre Dame, after being underdogs going into Oklahoma, they were able to come out and get a huge 30-13 victory.
Yeah.
Manti Te'o, guys, he's in the Heisman race as a middle linebacker. The last middle linebacker to finish in the top 5 of the Heisman voting was in 1992 with Marvin Jones from Florida State. Really rarefied air for Manti Te'o right now.
Yeah.
How high do you think he could go Heisman-wise?
Oh, man, he can win it all. You know why?
Why?
He's got God on his side, man.
He's got.
He's Catholic. There's Notre Dame.
Can't go wrong
Fighting
with that.
Irish. They got it.
Can't go wrong with
They
that.
got it. Just ask Tebow. You know what I'm saying?
No, Tebow knows.
He does. He knows all about this.
Biggest game of the season this weekend. Alabama, LSU. I want to get some picks. Esteban, who you got?
I think I'm gonna go with LSU.
LSU at home.
LSU,
all right, Larry.
Got Alabama. They're number one.
Roll Tide, baby.
I'm thinking Tide going to Baton Rouge and get it done. Their defense is just nasty, and LSU has some quarterback issues. And our final topic here was the Des Bryant play yesterday. I'm sure we got a lot of Cowboy fans out there.
Yeah.
His pinky comes down out of bounds. Larry, was there anything he could have done differently on the play to
I mean, with the way he landed, there was no possible way. I mean, I don't think he noticed. He just tried to, he coming off wide in the air. You have nowhere to land, he touched.
But he didn't need to brace himself the way he did.
No, he didn't.
It was
he
pointless.
He could have just gone in the fetal position with the ball.
Yep.
So throwing his body out.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
It's hard to fault the guy, for because it was a ridiculous catch. He just, he had to brace his fall. It came down a little bit out of bounds. But that's all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank everyone who participated in today's discussion. We'll be back next week with a new panel and more hot topics to kick around right here on Nac Edition.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Nac Edition. Remember, you can see any of the stories featured here online at your YouTube channel, Jack TV SFA, or follow us on Twitter at Nac Edition.
If you would like to learn more about our program or department here at SFA, visit the website address at the bottom of your screen.
Nac Edition will be back next week with new stories and new topics to discuss. For now, though, thanks for watching Nac Edition.
See you next time.